I welcome you back. This is M-Dog, and I am responding to work for a second on my phone. Sorry about that. Um, and by the way, my hope is that we will not get interrupted and can get a full episode in here, but it is possible that that will not work out. We'll see. All right, so we're going to start off here and see if we can't quickly catch a tench or two, and then we will move to Bream once again. We're going to kind of do what we did on the last episode to start off with. If I do not get interrupted, however, I think after that we're going to go back to Mosquito and try a couple of experiments there. If we can really have a longer episode, we may even go through the second night at Mosquito. All right, what do we want to use in this spot? I think bread has probably worked the best, but we can try a little bit more pearl barley. Let's see how this does. What size hook? 12? 14. Yeah, with this gear, that's probably safer. So someone had asked in the last video, in the comments, someone had asked about quiver tips. I think I may have talked about quiver tips a couple times, but it might have been in a much earlier episode. So on many of these feeder rods, you know, if you look at the most basic feeder rod, this is Sorrento, it only has one quiver tip, right? But as you do get to the more advanced, you have two and maybe even more options on quiver tips. And the basic idea is the lighter the quiver tip, the more sensitive it's going to be, so that if a really small fish or a light biting fish, if it's not going to pull with a lot of force when it gets on your line, the lighter quiver tip will still go off, so you'll be able to see that you're getting a fish there. The heavier quiver tip, obviously, will only get sounded or go off if a larger force, therefore, in most cases. Oh, that was a terrible cast because we got the clip all messed up. I'm telling you guys, these snags, they did not used to happen. Unless I'm just getting really lucky. Like, that did not used to happen to me. We may have to relog if a fish doesn't get it off. So anyway, quiver tips. I guess the idea or the reason for having a heavier quiver tip, at least theoretically, would be if it has a little more sturdiness to it, if it's not quite as flimsy, then when a big fish bites on there, it's got a little less give to it, and so it'll help that bigger fish get onto the hook. That's the idea, at least. In terms of how, I don't know if it actually works that way. Oh, I'm so thankful we caught a fish, got off that snag. I don't know if it actually works that way. If having a heavier quiver tip doesn't matter in terms of the larger fish actually getting on there, then there's really not necessarily a penalty to just always using the most sensitive, other than just that you don't need to use the most sensitive with many of the fish that you're going to be going after. So that's a long-winded way of saying if you're going after something small, use the really light ones, or something that doesn't bite very much, a light force, use the very lightest ones. If you're fishing for burbot or catfish or carp or bigger fish species, then you probably want to use a heavier quiver tip. Hopefully that helps. Quiver tips were just added in this last patch, so I should caveat all of that by saying we may learn more information about some of the particulars or how it works specifically in this game. I've been told by people that fish in real life that the stiffness of the quiver tip in real life, at least, would have no effect on a fish getting caught or not. I don't do any kind of bottom or feeder fishing in real life, so I don't really have that knowledge myself, but that's what I've been told. And if that's the case, again, it sort of leaves you at a place of, well, what's the downside of just always having it on a very sensitive quiver tip? And I still don't know the answer to that for sure. I think this is a tench, but we'll find out for sure in just a moment. Yeah. Very good. So that's just bonus if we can catch a few tench here. We'll take all of your crucians, small and large. Ugh. I went too soon. We might have just missed the tench there too. Although it also could have been a grass carp since it was taking a while to get on there. I had looked away for a second, but I was hearing the bell go off, so I just figured that it was that it was on, but not so fast. Yeah, that is nice. I think we go a little bit... Oh, we need ground bait. I think we go a little bit longer here. Before moving to Bream. Well, we've done it twice now on that line. Apparently I need to walk farther away. You know, I didn't... the bells didn't go off, but I just had a feeling like there's a fish on there. Alright, let's catch a big fatty one on bread here before we have to move. We have a lot of tea left, which is nice. I mean, it's about 50 silver, maybe a little bit more of that for 10 packets of tea, but that makes a ton of tea. And it allows you to do a lot of digging for bait, so I think it's a net gain overall. All right, let's give these just another minute or two. We need to start moving. What we could do, I'm thinking... Let's see, where are we? Yeah, I'm thinking about putting this one, our smaller one, because, you know, I never really knew what to do with it. Let's do a 12, and let's put pearl barley on this one. I really don't know the clip distance here. I mean, it might be 20. Let's see what this looks like on 20, landing out there. I mean, that might be right. Let's see, it went right there. I feel like that might be right. We might be in the hole there. It appears so. Look how far down the line is slanted. All right, so let's just leave that there with pearl barley on. I'm just wondering if there's any whites or regular bream that happen to be in that hole. There are at times, but there may not be right now. And let's get our other two lines and go set up at the bream spot. It's pretty far away from that line, so it's not the best setup, but I want to at least experiment there with that one. And let's try to catch a few bream, and about 5 or 6 a.m. we'll go see what the cafe orders at Mosquito look like, purchase some more ground bait, and we'll try to fish through the day if I don't have to leave before then. I think we want to go here. Actually, no. That's too far down. Maybe this is the right spot. Yeah, this is correct. Alright, so we're just switching this over to pearl barley. And let's go 20. Let's go 22 on this one, and we'll go 20 on the other one. We'll switch it up a little bit. So the longer cast is on the left line now instead of the right. We still have size 6 hook. Everything looks good. And like I said, this one will go 20. And hopefully I'll remember. I wanted to check out at Old Berg to see what the stock looked like in terms of fluorocarbon liters. At this point, with stock starting to get worn out again, we may not be able to get fluorocarbon liters till we get to Volkov, but we'll see. Still getting points. It's a little early. I'd say ideal bream time starting would be like at 2200, but at least we've got everything set up now as bream time comes into prime time. Yeah, and that is one of the disadvantages of these starter feeder rods, is you don't have the more sensitive quiver tip. 42 gram is, you know, a heavier quiver tip compared to what you can do on these lightweight options on some of the more advanced ones. So we've got nothing over there yet. No line movement. There we go. Very light. Oh, it's an eyed. Okay. After a little bit of time, if we don't get a bite there, we're going to put it right here. And we'll probably just do full cast just to test it. We'll do without a clip and full cast. We're not even getting a nibble yet there. So that's interesting. Maybe you could fish for eyed in this spot too. I don't know. Once again, at least early, we're getting plenty of bream nibbles here. Let's see if this is another small one. No, this is a much more much more reasonable bream here. And again, right at 2200. That's a nice one. Are we out of that stack or nope? Okay. I think if there was going to be a bite here, if it wasn't going to be really slow, it would have already. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Very frustrating with these ghost snags. It is happening so frequently right now. I just really wonder if it was something with, if not the most recent update, a more recent one. Because back when I used to fish these waters all the time, I never saw stuff like this. Maybe once or twice in a blue moon, but I mean, it has been consistent. And yeah, I don't know if we should relog real quick to free up that rod so we can keep testing with it. We'll lose a little bit of bream time if we do that, but oh, maybe that's. Was that the line over here with a fish on it? That would be great. That's the one way to get it unstuck, is still catch a fish. Maybe it wasn't this one. Maybe it was the other one and I just didn't see it moving yet. Two fish on. Another nice fish. It's a marker, but just barely. Oh, it's not even a marker. Wow. That felt so much heavier than it was. As much as I would have liked to have tested that other spot, in all of the fishing we did in this bream spot last time, we never caught a decent fish on that third line, just because with the smaller hook, and I didn't really want to fight big old bream on that line, so I may just stick with these two rods for a little bit, and then when we travel, it'll automatically get unstuck. This is not a good one, size-wise. What did we end up with? About 9, I think. I don't remember if we ever got our 10th. About 9 the last night we fished here. I guess I have come to terms with the way the shovel works now. It really doesn't bother me anymore. In fact, in some ways, I like it better now. It pairs well with leveling up cooking because it goes well with tea. At the end of the day, tea is not that expensive to make because of how much you're getting for each pack. 1 second. Okay. So let's try to get 1 or 2 more bream, and then we will go ahead and move to Mosquito. I'm not going to be able to go as long as I hoped I would on this one. Just make sure we never got an actual fish on here. We didn't. Just the lovely snag. I think if nothing else, let's We do want to sell the fish here because they probably sell for a little bit more here compared to Mosquito. But let's go look at the leaders real quick. Let's sell the fish, and then let's go to Mosquito and see. What were we going to test? Oh, the mussels and fruit on Bream. That's right. All right, so let's look at leaders for feeders. And, ooh, they do have 5.4 in stock. So let's get at least 2 of these. 7.7 is what's out of stock. 2 of those will be good for us, though. We might actually even use those. It's a little stronger than what we want it to be, but it's fine. No new orders that are going to count for us. Quick 29 silver. I'll take it. And let's go to Mosquito. And so that we actually get a little bang for our buck here in terms of time, let's get some stuff in the water, and then I'll look at the records to make sure I'm remembering correctly on that boilie. Oof. Rough and white bream order. Oh, that's so tempting. We could probably get that. Let's put one rod up here. We're going to be running back and forth, but that's okay. 12. I think we usually use like smaller than that to get the best bite rate, like maybe 14. And let's put some kind of ground bait on here. We've been clipping 20 here as well. You know, we should probably... I'm really torn. Yeah, I guess testing is more important than silver right now. I mean, I want to get those orders done, but let's just see what happens with... We'll be able to tell pretty quick, to be honest. All right, let's take the clipping off. I want to eyeball this. And 25 centimeter versus 25 centimeter. Okay, it's the same except it's fluorocarbon, which is a little nicer. I think right here is good. No, let's go right here. And let's just go about 50%. I'd say more like 60% might be better. I do think that's in the hole, though. This one we're going to change, however, to classic hair rig. Bite indicator. Fluorocarbon leader. Size 6 hook. And it was the 12, I believe. Do we want to try it with the dip or without? Let's go for it. All right, let's take the clip off. We don't have much time of bream time left anyway. And let's go like, yeah, 60%. Oh, that's beautiful. That's what we want to see. It's so... That's one of our bream lines. Oh, there's 2 rough orders. Holy cow, that's like so much silver we're going to walk away from. Maybe those orders will still be up by the time I get back on. I doubt it, though. All right, which one was ringing here? I'd be shocked if it was the boilies, but you never know. And was I even right there? I think it was Russia Weekly on Bream, Mosquito Lake, Mussels and Fruit 12. Yep. That is what it was. I think that has a fish on. These may not yet. Two rough orders, so technically we should just be fishing for rough over there at the camp. But there's not enough morning left to actually finish the order, I bet. This is going to be white bream. Best case scenario. That's a nice one. And actually, the other place I would want to test, I mean, we just need to see where the bream are in the water. And the other place I remember us seeing bream a little bit was actually right off camp straight south. I don't know that we were making it to 5 meter hole, but just sort of in this square here. That might be... All right, so let's see what's on pearl barley here. Ooh. Maybe a marker bream if it is a bream. Oh, it's not. It's a fatty crucian, though. All right, let's test my theory here. We're going to do, like, full cast off south of camp. Let's see what happens. Like this. Yeah, but we want it more in the main part, like this. Yeah. It's going to be a long cast. See if it looks like it's going pretty far down. Yeah. I'd say that's in the 5 meter or close to it. All right. Now let's see what happens. It's just a little test run here. I think we've got a fish on up here again. I would not want to do this long term going back and forth like this, but I'm just trying to see where the fish are. The bream especially. And to do that, by the way, we should have pearl barley on both of those lines over there. Because we can't really say whether the bream is there or not just because we caught that one crucian. Another nice white. I love these white bream orders. But this is like the best ever. I don't know that I've ever seen this, at least when I've been paying attention. 2 white bream orders and 2 rough orders at the same time. Of course, a lot of these are going to be expiring soon, so I definitely won't be able to take advantage of any of them, but that's pretty nice. I mean, that would be just like over 100 silver pretty quickly and pretty easily. All right, let's give it a minute here. Even if small size bream come out of the water, that would be interesting. And we also should try this without the dip. You never know, that dip might just be too strong for the bream or something. No telling. Yeah, sounds like it's the pearl barley. So this will give us a little bit of information here. If there's actually a fish on. You could also argue that this beach here gets into that just even easier maybe. And I don't know if we're actually reaching it or not. We may be. But even without the hole, I felt like casting over here in this direction, we saw some bream just on regular worm or either red worm. I don't remember what now. So again, just trying to figure out if we're catching the right species over here. Yeah, that's a white, isn't it? Huh. And maybe just in general there's more white bream than bream right now at Mosquito. I don't know. I think we have a fish on our boilie though. This is exciting. Potentially. It's not as exciting as I'd hoped. Yeah, it's just a crucian. Just a crucian eating our expensive boilie, huh? Well, yeah, we're gonna run out of time. Yeah, we got another fish on over there. So I guess the first step is to locate where our actual bream biting at, and we can test that more next time. And then if we can locate the bream, then putting the boilie on and figuring out if the bream will take to the boilie at all, or if that was just a, you know, a very random thing that's going to be hard to recreate. We have to make some more pearl barley, that's for sure. And we do need to get ground bait material. Look, every fish has been a marker. It's good fishing at Mosquito. I think if we could stay a little longer, we'd get this white bream order no problem. We're just 2 away. In fact, why don't we just try to do that real quick? They'll bite in the morning sometimes. All right, we don't want a 6 hook on there. We could do a 10 though. Let's do a 12. So we need to bat 1,000% here. 2 nice white breams in a row. Nothing on that pearl barley yet, huh? That's slow in that. Oh. Was that there? Nope. Wow, did we already get one here? Yep. I think there's going to be a fish on both these lines. As long as it's not an early morning perch, right? Ooh, that one might not quite be 300 grams. Yeah. Sad face. That one is, again, if it's a white bream. And, oh, is that a regular bream? Okay. So this is where we need to fish for regular bream. It's all about the hook size, maybe. That 12 caught a bream. Weird. 12 caught a bream, but the 14 or whatnot is pulling in the white bream. Well, that's interesting. Maybe we just fish off of this for the regular bream next time we can test. Is that moving? Yeah. They're getting small now. I think we're going to miss it. Yeah, they're getting small. $24 silver or 14 silver. It's worth it. We'll see what we got here just in case we get another small one. We'll sell the 5 smallest. Yep. All right. Something small. Okay. Yeah, that's going to make that small order much more appealing. 1 to 5. 24 silver. That's a doable I'd order, by the way, for 32 silver. We caught one that was right at that size. That's possible. That is possible. Big old roach. 5 easy rough. I hate that we can't stay longer. All right, another 16 silver. We are up over 400. We will be there before you know it. We will have an upgraded rod and be able to be a little more aggressive. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. Sorry I have to cut off a little short here, but it's just the way it played out. I will be back next time, and I think I'm still going to do a little bit more bream testing here at Mosquito before heading back to Oldberg, but we'll see. All right, thanks so much.